Hello, we're at CES and we're in the suite of Alticast, and we have an opportunity to explore a topic that is about a moment of liberation in the pay TV industry. John Carlucci, who is the CTO of Alticast, is going to talk to us about the ramifications of the FCC's still tentative but basically accepted lifting of the cable card restrictions that have, to put it mildly, plagued the industry for these many years. And Alticast is in a very good position to give us some insight into this, because they've really been a pioneer in developing this technology, which is to the alternative of the cable card, downloadable security, or as it's known in the cable industry, DCAS. And as such, it definitely represents a major sea change in so many things. And John, I'll leave it to you to tell us what those things are.
Sure, I'd love to, Fred. Thanks for stopping by. So what's going on in the industry right now has been a culmination of many different efforts and technology innovations. It started many years ago when we tried to conceive of how to incorporate more flexibility into the content protection systems that we delivered. So as part of that, we tried to figure out how can we leverage the servers to give us more flexibility with respect to content protection. And out of that idea, downloadable conditional access was born. The idea that you take the elements needed to secure a device, create those in software, bring them into the device, and assure the same level of content protection that our content partners had grown to expect from us. When those innovations occurred, that presented an opportunity to take the somewhat aged cable card, which had been deployed not only in the United States, but also in South Korea, and bring out a new technology that improved flexibility, reduced power, lowered cost, and shrank the form factor significantly.
And so that's where it started for you in South Korea.
That's true. And over a number of years, a system was developed that allowed for the instantaneous replacement from the cloud of the content protection system. And so we had many years to refine that technology. Okay. In addition to that, here in North America, there's been a single operator who, under the guidance of the FCC, did not have to deploy cable cards, and that's Cablevision. So for 3 years, they have been deploying a solution that is downloadable, and we've been working with them in order to deliver that solution.
Now, as this has all been evolving and maturing, I gather that this has created an environment where the operator has the flexibility within a given downloadable security framework to use a variety of actual conditional access systems based on whichever vendor they want to go with.
That's right, Fred. If any of the conditional access systems that are compliant with the downloadable conditional access frameworks can be used. So that gives the ability for the operator to seize upon the different innovations that different content protection providers are bringing to the industry. So as they need to adopt their business models to better satisfy their subscribers' needs, they can choose from the best of breed providers of that and make that change without a high capital investment.
I guess that also brings into the whole equation, more advanced security requirements that licensing is bringing about for, say, UHD, and the fact that there's going to have to be an acceptance of a whole different regime to be able to get very pristine content out there on big screens in a way that is secure. Do you feel that this has reached a point that they can support that evolution?
I think so. I think they can support that, and I think it's actually well timed because the algorithms that are used to protect the content, continue to evolve. And with the Ultra HD content coming on the scene and the improved entertainment experience that provides, as well as the value it has as digital content, really needs for us to secure that content so that we can keep the business models and supply chains in place so that the money continues to flow back to the content producers so we get that quality entertainment.
And of course, another thing that is very much a part of the current evolution further along than UHD is the multiple device connectivity to the network in the home, and the fact that now I guess there's no need to think about cable cards for other devices, and you can now provide that kind of very high level security that conditional access offers.
Yeah, I think that's right. You would never try to take a cable card and insert it into your smartphone. But at the same time, our subscribers very much want to receive their entertainment on those different devices. So that's an example of where innovation was being blocked by the form factor that was the cable card.
So this allows for an enhancement of robustness and security beyond maybe what we've been accustomed to thinking about, even in some of the more advanced DRM systems, to accommodate the requirements of the licensors for access on these connected devices.
Yeah, one element of the downloadable conditional access is it uses all the best practices with respect to the hardware secure elements within the system. So by using those well-known, well-established best practices, we're providing the content protection without sacrificing the security, but still getting a more flexible and expandable system.
Yeah, and that's very important because and now there's so much talk about having to add layers on top of DRM to go with whatever the open spaces are in any given bus system on a particular chip and a particular type of device. This kind of eliminates those kinds of needs and requirements.
Yeah, it brings it into a well-established environment. Using those well-established best practices. Using things like common key ladders such as the OMS KLAD that allows for content protection systems provided by multiple suppliers to use those common hardware building blocks.
Yeah, huge difference. And I guess another thing that is a huge difference is now an operator looking at repackaging or upgrading people or coming in with new packages. Whatever they want to do, they can just basically do it on a push-button basis when it comes to securing and bringing in these new packages into the domain.
Yeah, that's right. We want to continue to redefine the business logic for delivering these content offerings. This system allows us to quickly adapt so that we can continue to move with our subscribers and their changing content consumption patterns as those go across multiple services as well as across multiple devices.
Yeah. We have here a working set-top that is suited for downloadable securities.
Contained within this set-top box are the essential building blocks for creating a downloadable conditional access system, and those are threefold. One is the conditional access client, which brings the business rules associated with the content protection. Then, in addition to that, we have the device software within the box that interacts with the video components, with the user presentation, etc. And then, finally, we have the secure hardware component, that is specialized silicon that offers the tightest level of protection for the content. So this, particular device is capable of downloading the conditional access kernel from the cloud into the device, and it's also capable of having that conditional access kernel be swapped out with another component, another conditional access system at the push of a button.
This brings to mind, of course, from the silicon side, obviously, because you have a commercial market out there that's using downloadable security. You have chipsets and boxes that accommodate that. What about in general, as far as where the silicon manufacturers are concerned, having to spin silicon to adapt to this whole state of affairs?
Yeah, one of the nice things about this approach is that the infrastructure is already in place, that the silicon manufacturer is already incorporating the underlying building blocks into the system, and it's up to us to get the business processes in place to take advantage of those building blocks.
So we don't have to wait another year and a half to get the silicon out there that'll do this stuff.
No, you don't. You can order from your system on a chip vendor of choice today and receive the underlying building blocks to create a downloadable conditional access system with hardware security.
Maybe you can show us a little bit about how this might work in a real world environment where somebody wants to change authorization on a channel or something.
I'd love to. In this demonstration, what I'll do is I'll remove the entitlement from this service just to prove that it is no longer, the device is no longer able to decrypt it. We'll remove this entitlement, and that will indicate to the box that it is no longer allowed to receive the content. So a secure message is sent down to the box. The box realizes that it no longer has the tools to recover this content, and we've got the selected service, and I'll say delete, and it'll send out a message to this box in a secure fashion that says this user is no longer entitled to enjoy this entertainment, and here we see that the video stops because it no longer has the tools to recover the content.